Hello, and welcome to another squad line battle with me, Garthnix. 29th of March, can't believe it's almost April already, guys. Crazy, literally crazy. We're halfway through the seasonal, we're on the main stage. Mental. We've got a good one tonight. Mr. Bombastic, back again. FSG, back again. Haven't played together or played against each other as far as I know, these two commanders, but should be a good one. We're going to be following the Axis Axis admin cam today with the allies over in red. This is server 2. If you want to catch server 1, go check. Guessing it's Heathen Hammer. I haven't actually checked, to be honest. Kind of got halfway through saying that one and wasn't really sure, but I'm guessing it's Heathen Hammer. Don't know. Let's have a check for you. Who we got? Heathen Hammer. Yeah, go check him out if you want to catch server 1. Over here on server 2, we're on. We're not on FOY. I don't know why it says FOY. Let's just bin that off straight away and bring up Saint-Marie du Mont. I'm pretty sure I changed the image before, but it's kind of reverted for some reason back to the one that said FOY. Whatever. But yeah, we're on Saint-Marie du Mont, as you can see. In terms of the middle points, as always, we'll be looking at AA Network, Pierre's Farm, and the Dugout over here. I think quite a fair selection in some ways of middle points, with probably AA Network being the fairest. Pierre's Farm a little bit favouring the Allies, so that's we'll draw a red line here. This is the Allies and the Germans, the Axis in blue down here. Slightly favouring the Allies because this area here, let me draw it in red to kind of signify they probably got control of it. This area here is very open for them to kind of look across and get shots out on the Axis. These like fields out here are very difficult to cross for the Axis as well. And it's a real tricky one to like get into this kind of area and really get in there when you've got allied tanks kind of firing at you across here. So PS Farm probably favouring the allies there. AA Network, as I say, probably the fairest of all the different points for the middle here. The Dugout, I'm going to get hated in chat here, but I'm going to say it's actually quite fair. So not a terrible one. It's kind of a bit on there's like some hill areas, kind of like down on the like the Axis side, I guess, around here. So there are some routes of approach. It's a little bit limited in the sense of where you can sort of like the actual approach in maybe for that Axis, but I guess in some ways that works both ways. But you can kind of see that the Allies have several kind of routes like in here, to get up and into the point. But this is very open here. It doesn't give them a lot of options for crossing over that way, so it's quite predictable where they're going to come in. Over here on Squad Line Battle, obviously it's not like a competitive game, as it were. So not only does that mean that it's not like part of any tournament or something like that, but it's not like one community plays against another. It's people from all different communities. They just join as squads and kind of all pitch in together and play against another team that's made of the same thing. You don't have to be part of a community. You can just kind of be anyone and join with a bunch of your friends or jump in with some people that you do know from a community to form a squad. But you come as a squad. You can play anything you like, whether it's commander, whether it's recon, infantry, tanks, jump on artillery, whatever you like, as long as you come as a squad, as long as you communicate, coordinate. It's a password locked server. You have to apply, but it's not a difficult process to get in. You just have to come as a squad, like I say. So big shout out as always to the organisers. Werner Voss taking a bit of a backseat on this one, but Dragster as always, real stalwart on the server, and S1 like really the rising star of sorting all this out. So massive thanks to him. Huge thanks as always to the players and to you, the viewers, for checking out the stream today. Let's just have a little quick chat about the secondary points. In my opinion, Saint-Marie du Mont for the like the church here for the Axis is definitely the least favoured second point because they've got kind of really tricky. it's really difficult to defend. You need to be kind of placing blockades. Come on, across these roads here. My lines aren't long enough to stick, so they need to blockade these roads. But what that means is if all the guys die inside the point and there's enemies in there, then you're fighting against your own blockades to get in. In terms of a route in here for the Axis, they kind of have this way in, and they do have a way in here. But for the Allies, you know, not only do they have these roads and also like obviously this whole area to potentially encircle, they can also get through this way. They can also kind of push along the edge of the map and through this cemetery area and get into these buildings here. And this area here, always really important, or slightly lower just here, really important. Could see some satchel plays on the church if that is the secondary point, if we get back to that one. In terms of maybe the least favoured of the points here for the Allies, it's a little bit difficult to say, but maybe cattle sheds. Probably people in the chat are going to have, or viewers are going to have their own opinions here on these ones, but cattle sheds maybe. Obviously we're following the Axis today, so we'll have the best opportunity to see their OPs and their garrisons and stuff. Unfortunately we don't have anybody on the Allied side at the moment, although you know, if you want to help me out, get a second monitor, then there's a good chance that we might be able to bring you both maps at some point. I just can't sort of coordinate it all just with one monitor at the moment. But like if we're talking about break or battery, this route in for the Axis, basically pointless. Like really easy to defend, although there might be, who knows, a way to abuse the trucks to get around. But really hard to attack from that angle, and so they're kind of locked in from attacking from this side here on the eastern flank, which does make it a little bit predictable and quite difficult for them. Rue de la Gare again, suffering a little bit from the kind of the problems that we mentioned before for the Axis. You know, they've kind of got good sight lines coming against them here. Although this field is a little bit more, you're able to like hide in it a little bit better than, you know, like this one or these or over here when you're approaching PS Farm. You again got this kind of problem out here with lots of open space to the side, so it can be quite hard to approach with good tank cover there from the Allies. For the Allies, they probably will well, I was going to say they probably prefer to get Saint-Marie de Mont, but it depends what the strats are, you know, for the commander. Before the game, all the players do go into a little chat and they have a you know, 10 minutes with the commander before the whole thing kicks off to kind of try and plan what's going on. But it's not like you know, it's not like a regular comp game or something where you maybe have like time to practice on the map. You know, you have like a whole practice session, you develop your strats and all this. So a lot of the time, the most successful commanders, they're kind of trying to do their bit, building garrisons, using their commander abilities properly, putting down, making sure they put down and other people put down markers and things when they see enemies. But a lot of the time, it's all about relying on your squad leaders, because, as I say, you join as a squad. So the power of squad line battle is in the squads, and this is where we'll see this kind of slightly diffused command structure. You know, the better you can coordinate between squads without using the commander or relying, let's say, on the commander, usually the better you do. But we should see all the range of the full Hell Let Loose kind of arsenal today. So we've got tanks, we've got artillery with probably a good use of smokes, I suggest, especially on those middle points. Then you know, AA networks, like you just get shelled like crazy. Good use of tanks. We'll see the 76s come into play big time for the Allies, if it's PS Farm especially, even at the dugout. Well, I draw a line there, that's not quite, there's a hill there, so it's not quite like that, but you know, seeing those tanks come into play for sure. We're going to see people going around the back, trying to get in and around the back, doing all the flanking. We're going to see recon taking out the artillery, etc, etc. So as always, a really good game probably for you guys today. Sometimes they're steamrollers, but normally they're real sweaty and they last a full 130 hour and 30, the full 90 minutes. So, you know, grab yourself whatever beverage of choice, a nice glass of water or something, sit back, chill, relax. Hopefully I'll be able to take you through it shed a little bit of light on what's going on. We'll mostly be looking from the sky as usual on my stream. I don't kind of go super in depth often, kind of watching the play-by-play. Sometimes, you know, if something cool's happening, but and we catch it, but I normally try and stay a little bit out of it, try and have a look at what the tanks are up to, and generally kind of talk about the strats in general, you know, talk about what the commanders might be doing, etc. At the end of this one, we're hopefully going to get the commanders in a chat as well. We'll be able to kind of run through with them, you know, what went well, what didn't go so well, and you know, maybe one of them will be a bit salty at the end. Who knows? Depends what happens. Let's just have a look on the server. We're not quite ready to go yet. It looks like we are just waiting for the restart. We've got 90 something players in the server, so almost there. But this is my time, I guess, to kind of shout out first and foremost the people who have supported the stream in the meantime since our last stream, because we got a 15-minute delay today, as always. And when it's a 15-minute delay normally, I don't get a chance necessarily to like say hi or thanks to the people who follow and support the channel like as it happens. So I will just go through and do that. So since the last stream, we've got Monero, we've got Parachute GR, we've got El Conveyor, we've got Jimbo Reno, we've got CJC989 Gaming, we've got Sinister Gates, we've got Patient 0.5 with the follows, we've got Jimbo with the bits. We've had a bunch of new people in the chat. Pangaea, we've got, like I say, Sinister Gate in the chat, chatting for the first time. The chat does work. I will see it as you write. It will come into me live, but or it won't just like you won't hear my response for like 15 minutes though. So the other thing to say about the 15-minute delay is that if there's a problem with the stream, please do let me know. It has been known, guys. It has been known to happen. Been doing this a while, but still sometimes it messes up. So just let me know. I'll try and get on it as soon as possible. But obviously there is that kind of disclaimer that there is a 15-minute delay. Like I say, at the end, hopefully we'll get both commanders in the chat. Have a bit of a chat with FSG. Have a bit of a chat with Mr. Bombastic. And kind of see like where their whether their plans came to fruition, whether things went the way that they hoped, or whether it all just went Pete Tong right from the start. So we'll jump in a second. I'll get us up in the sky once the server changes, like once the server restarts, and I'm on the Allies at the moment, and once I kind of flip over, and then we'll get going. Before we start, I will just kind of do a shameless plug here and say that if you didn't catch it, and if you are interested in Hell Let Loose competitive scene, do make sure to go over and check Known Connections stream for our spring seasonal, the recapping show, which was on yesterday evening. We had a really good show covering all of the games that happened over the weekend. So that's like 8 different games. So if you didn't manage to keep up with all the games in the seasonal, come by this like Known Connection stream, watch that video that's just saved as one of his VODs. You will cover all those games. We look at the games to come. We cover the stats of all of those games and say like who killed the most, and you know, who was like the top victim, you know, who got killed by the same person over and over the most, all that kind of stuff. A little bit of fun. We show you a bunch of clips as well of like interesting and cool stuff that happened throughout the games of the weekend. There's some really great clips in there. We've got knife kills, tank satchels. We've got insane tank shots, like arching tank shots across like the whole map to take out the Tiger with the 76. We've got people doing basically the same thing but with like an AT gun to shoot the artillery. We've got like infantry kills, slaying people off of garrisons, like some really great clips taken over the weekend. You can clip anything that you see today. It will save it to my stream. Other people can enjoy it, watch it. It won't, you know, don't share it obviously to like the seasonal Discord or anything like that, but you can obviously like share it with your friends, whatever. So if you see something cool, do clip it, and yeah, do drop us a follow. Hopefully we'll get going in a minute. The show, incidentally, like obviously these games that are coming up at this weekend will be another great set of games. I mean, we're in the main stage now for the comp scene for the spring seasonal, so they're going to be great games again. We've seen a lot of the teams from the qualifier stages come up to the main stage and kind of get slapped about a bit, to be honest, by these teams that are waiting in the main stage. So a lot of those are back down, fighting against each other in the 0-1 bracket for another bite at the apple, as it were, another crack at some of these main stage teams. A lot of the main stage teams going 5-0 or 5-0, winning like really, really strong performances against the qualifying teams, and they'll often be playing each other. There's kind of a little exception to that in that STDB from the qualifying stage did actually win very, very convincingly the other day, and so they will be playing in that 1-0 bracket, and they're actually going to be playing What the Hell, so that's going to be a huge game. What the Hell versus STDB this weekend. That'll be really good. I think, you know, we've got some other really, really cracking games planned over the weekend. We're just about getting all of the information about who's going to be casting those games, so do keep an eye on the seasonal Discord to find out who's going to be casting them, where you can catch those games. Also on the Discord to find out exactly where and when they're going to be streamed, whose server, what time. So we've got UFR versus EG, because SCDB beat UFR, the French team, as that kind of standout victory there by a qualifying team. So they're playing against EG, who lost against What the Hell. Then we've got the Line versus Phoenix, which should be like a really good game. Phoenix losing against Core, and the Line losing. Who do they play? Oh yeah, of course, Trigger. So that used to be Cena. The Line very convincing in the qualifiers, but Trigger coming in with a really strong performance. Fins Let Loose kind of lost in a bit of a heartbreaking tragedy to Blacklist. Just maybe underestimated them or something, not quite sure. They'll be playing against Hell Let Loose Poland, who you know, themselves lost at the weekend to, who did they play? Oh, AZ2AD, that's right. You know, they lost again in a 5-0. They're really sort of playing to stay in it a little bit, the Polish team, and hopefully we haven't seen the end of them, but it's going to be a tough matchup for them against Fins Let Loose. Trirex, super, super strong in the qualifying stage, but did get a bit of a thrashing, to be honest, when they came up against 116, who are a really fantastic team, came, I think, 7th in the previous seasonal. Then 501st will be playing Trirex this weekend. 501st themselves coming out of the qualifiers with a bit of a kind of up and down story, you know, a redemption story, but getting pushed about a little bit against I believe it was ESPT, BHP OP, longest name possible. Then we've got What the Hell, like I say, versus STDB. So STDB coming through the qualifier to kind of actually win their game against UFR, and now they're playing the big boys in What the Hell. We've got Core versus Trigger, which will be a really interesting and good game. Core, very, very, very strong team, but Trigger kind of, well, getting a lot of infantry kills the other day, so maybe give Core a run for their money. I don't know, although Trigger did only win a 4-1. You know, they were the only guys that didn't come through with the 5-0. It was the only one that went the distance. And then we got 82AD versus Blacklist. As I said, Blacklist won against Fins Let Loose. 82AD won against Hell Let Loose Poland. So this might really be like the biggest test of 82AD in this season so far. ESPT, BHP OP are now facing 116. So that as well will be a really great game with ESPT being sort of like the USA team versus one of the German teams in 116. Both really, really strong teams, and a bit of a story behind that one. As well, coming from last seasonal. So hopefully we've got started now on the game. Yes, we have. It's literally just reset, and I can tell you that it's AA Network in the middle. It's Hamlet as the second point down, and Hill 6 at the bottom. So literally a straight line here for the Germans. I will join a squad and jump in. And then on the Allies side, we've got the cattle sheds, and we've got Winter's Landing up in the top left of the map as you look at it here on the stream. So I will jump in, I'll get rid of this overlay, get us up in the air, and we can have a look at the map as it stands, have a little look at the kind of deployment stage as people are getting set to go. And yeah, we'll get this squad line battle underway today. I hear the artillery firing off already. Let's get me up in the sky. Hopefully you can see the game now. Yes, you can. So as you can see, it's AA Network in the middle, so great point. Like I say, nice fair one in the middle. with the Axis just getting there now. We're about 3 minutes in, 5 minutes in, so just literally these two teams meeting each other now. You can see the transport truck. I don't know how many people are still in it. A few. Sometimes these go down pretty quickly. Offerman there with the transport truck kill, but I think maybe only one person was still in it. Artillery, as I mentioned, on AA battery, AA network, excuse me, like really, yeah, annoying, devastating, effective, however you want to term it. I see another transport truck over there. I'm not sure how many people are in it. We'll see them jump out maybe in a minute. But we've got the Allies kind of spreading out through this cornfield, or the wheat field, excuse me, to the right-hand side here, which is where I was saying, like, they've got a little bit of cover in some of these wheat fields versus the open grass fields. As you can see, like if it was Pierre's farm, it's really open, like really horrible approach there for the Axis. We'll start to see some of the tanks come out in a minute, probably. Yes, there is a 75 right on cue. Just get my highlighting up, breaks the immersion a little bit, but it allows us to see everything that's happening. We've got green for the Axis here, or the Germans, and we've got red over there for the Allies, so you can kind of see these two tanks about to maybe run into each other's sightline, with the Panzer IV below us and the 75 over there in the field. Panzer IV is still staying covered by the buildings at the moment. Really nice little approach here, though, isn't it, for the German team? They're able to just drive straight into the point. Probably not something that you're going to see too often in competitive, because that's going to have a shell right on it, literally the perfect spot to drop a artillery shell, right where those trucks are. But I can see the tanks like moving around a little bit now, and actually we've got the Panzer IV taking a shot from this plucky little tank here, but it's not enough to really do them too much harm. They're going to have to be a little bit cautious with their moving around here, though, because they're going to try and get repaired. But as you can see, that 75 is still just lurking there, waiting. We've also got this transport truck over here. I'm not quite sure. It looks like maybe just one person, but we can see they're going to try and build a garrison out in the field here on these supplies. So, not managing to get themselves repaired quite yet down below us. The Panzer IV on the left-hand side, and the 75 is moving up. We've got Allies moving right round with Alfie from 82 AD coming below us, coming round the back of Calgon. I wonder if his washing machine works well. Looks like somebody's marked an OP here. I don't know if that is an OP or whether it's just Alfie. Wow, they're convinced. They think there's a garrison there. But the Allies, as you can see, using that wheat field to try and get the flank round here on the centre point at AA network. They are capping it at the moment, despite the fact that there's probably a majority, you know, like there's more German players inside the hard cap here. We can see that the spawn-wise, they've kind of got this little slightly unusual system of garrisons set up. I'm not sure quite what the, I don't know, the rationale, I suppose you would call it, is of this one out here. Maybe they're just trying to spawn some people in to get around on the flank, although you can see that King Squad already had their OP there, so I guess they were running that way anyway. But slightly unusual garrison here, maybe just trying to take some height advantage. Going for just numbers of Garys here at this point. But a nice little formation around the hamlet, so they should be able to get back. In case they lose AA here, they should be able to get back to Hamlet pretty effectively. So Panzer IV falling back, they've managed to heal themselves, but the 75's moving up. I wonder if we're going to get a marker down on this 75 anytime soon. Le de Lappen below us might see it in just a minute. He is an anti-tank player. I don't know if he's got a satchel or a rocket. He's got a rifle, so what does that mean? He's got the rockets? Or is he going to build, or maybe he builds a AT gun, get the loadouts? Should do better for you guys, really, shouldn't I? Okay, well, they've heard it. They've seen the tank here with the 75. Allied supplies coming down right as the point flips here at AA network. Full frontal combat here between the 75 and the Panzer IV down the road. The Panzer IV being a bit more effective with the ricochet there from the 75. And it goes down. That's important for them to get that kill, but the 76 will be out in a minute. They're starting with the recap here, but we can see that some of these allies are really pushing round. Obviously, we've got this points in it, basically a straight line below us. The Hamlet AA network setup is basically this straight line. But you can kind of see that, again, similar with AA network, they've got this cover in the wheat field to the right-hand side as we look at it. And they've also got some like nice little approaches through these kind of bushed areas, through some of these trenches. They can kind of get a little bit around the back. If you can hold some of these buildings around here as well, that can be quite powerful. But they're not really moving into the area yet, the Allies, at the moment. They're just having to consolidate their defence here at AA. I'm just going to ping this garrison. We're going to have a little look at it, just see if we can kind of understand the thinking behind this one. Maybe it's just because it's like up the top of the hill here. They want to get down some AT guns. You might be able to get a good view. Let's kind of try and zoom in a bit close. You might be able to get a view with an AT gun out over these sort of rolling hills here behind AA. What are we hearing going over the top here? That is a supply drop. Yep, so supplies coming down over there. No, not on anybody, it looks like at the moment. Oh yeah, maybe look, maybe it's on. Oh no, it's closer than that. So it was on Carlo there, but he went down to Llama. Look how many allies here in the field below us. Germans trying their best to take this point back, but it's being contested still. That's why it's red at the top of the screen, but you can see here it is being contested or defended, let's say, by the Allies. Everyone inside this black circle, their capping power is 3-1. So every single person inside the black circle is worth 3, and everybody inside these 4 surrounding squares is worth just 1. So it's all a numbers game here at the point. I see the 76 moving up now, as we said. It would be coming out soon, and the Panzer IV is almost redundant here at this point against the 76. And takes a hit as well, or almost takes a hit. I'm not sure if that clipped against the clipped on the hedge there, but yeah, the 75 taking a shot, but goes down. Oh my god, goes down to maybe a satchel. That's huge. I don't know if they were expecting that, unless that was an AT gun, but I don't see any AT guns set up. But yeah, that was a nice play there. So Hell Let Loose Poland, as I said before, kind of having a bit of an unfortunate result at the weekend, but looking to come back against Finns Let Loose. We discussed on the stream how Finns Let Loose were a little bit hungover perhaps in their last game against Blacklist, so maybe that'll work in the favour of the Poles as well this coming weekend, who knows. But I can see that Panzer IV over there just took a hit. Oof. Got sweet revenge almost immediately. Bombing run coming over the top here then on these guys. I can hear that low rumble of that big bombing run plane. Here we go. Sheesh. Satiri from Phalanx there, staying alive just about. Pretty much the only one, but that's going to do a good job of flipping the point or the capping power here. But these lot spawning on their OP, and you know, this is one of the problems with bombing runs. They don't get taken out by OPs don't get taken out by bombing runs, sorry. But Ari there doing the job of taking out the OP instead, just proxying it through the fence. Still more guys spawning over here on the garrison in the field that we saw them place down earlier. This Panzer IV living a charmed life. They're still somehow alive. Definitely wounded, but still in the fight. Trying to get some shots on the road as well, and the Axis definitely taking back the point here a little bit, but unless they can get rid of this garrison out in the field, they maybe saw him just spawn in there. Trying to get back to heal, I think. But it's tough fighting here for the Axis, or the Germans. Another big spawn wave comes in on the field. Commander, Mr. Bombastic, he says, put artillery in that field. They know they're there. But here comes a bombing run for the Allies and takes out a huge number of these guys over here in the building. and the compound, and a bunch of them in the center as well. What a fantastic bombing run there. I don't know how many people that just killed, but it's definitely going to free up this kind of compound area here by toothpick for some of these lot to maybe push into, giving them a real nice pincer movement. And the ones in the field, they haven't been taken out by the artillery yet, and that coordination is just not quite there. Let's see where they kind of slightly misplaced the garrison markers, and maybe that's causing the artillery not to quite, be quite as effective as it might be. But nice little defensive job here by the Allies. I don't see whether they've got any people back. Doesn't look like they're flanking too much. Doesn't look like they're really threatening it here over at Hamlet at the moment. But they've done a great job of defending this point from a nice little counter-attack by the Germans. But Allies really surrounding it on both sides now, catching the Germans out a little bit. They've got this building over here that we can see below us over to the northwest of the point. But they're kind of being forced back to where we saw their transport trucks come in and getting really pushed around. Alfie as well, like pushing around below us, as you can see. They don't want to run across this field here, the Allies, but if they can kind of get around to where like Matt is below us, or Offenman over there, then the jobs are good. And as they say, is that the Panzer IV going down? No, Panzer IV is still up somehow. They just took out that truck that's been sitting there a while. Done a nice little job of pushing through into that area over there. These Don D players, CC players, Clancy over here, not sure what community he's from. But they kind of cleared those trenches out pretty effectively. But at the same time, we've still got these lot down here with Johnsport, Thorpe, etc. Really up in the mix here at AA Network. But they're still in possession of it, the Allies, but not, despite a good, nice little flank and some control of that area a minute ago. Like they're not inside the point that effectively, and the Germans really sticking with it here. Karua just laying down fire. Still got the artillery markers down here. Gary's very much still there, and I just saw Bloggis spawn on this OP as well. Here comes the arty. Supply plane coming over the top now. Building the back garrisons for the Germans. See the Tigers coming in there in the command chat, so we'll keep a little eye out for that. It's over here somewhere. The WD-44 community squad. Very hard fought and contested here on AA Network. As I said, at quite a fair point, and we can see that here, just real hard fighting. Just, this little area could be like its own COD map, basically, couldn't it? They're just sticking around, hanging out in this one small area, having these crazy battles. And we've been playing now for like 20 minutes, and it's still not, convincingly held by either side. The Germans obviously got a lot of people inside the point there, but look how many red little berries we've got around here. The strawberries, as Blue Meanie might put it. Interesting, we've got some flankers coming out around this side with the 82 AD guys, Don D, Phalanx, our professor over there who played a blinder at the weekend. Coming around this, Thorpe 2 played well, coming around this side, but they are met by Mr. Strzelecki and his squad there, Wojtek. They know they're there at least, whether or not they have the shooting power over there to take them out. They know they're there. I don't see any markers there at the moment though, so they do need to place their markers down. We can see that the OP's hot. Mr. Bombastic must know. And he's going to get shot off of this supply truck in a minute. Let's catch the commander kill, maybe. He's placed the supplies. Is he going to get the Gary down? He's not careful. He's going to run into the firefight before he gets it down. But no, he has placed a garrison. Whether or not anybody's going to spawn over here. He's a little bit out by himself here. We'll talk to him about this after the match, maybe. Nice kill. He doesn't know where the rest of them are, though. He's hidden by the boxes here, but Typhon's over the other side of this hedge with a pistol. Just hanging out now, Mr. Bombastic, trying to keep his head down from the nades. Will he hear Typhon? No. Typhon doesn't hear him either. And he's round the corner now, so he's not going to shoot him in the back. He's just heard the truck. These guys spawn in at the OP and get Typhon. His pistol not doing him any favours there. El Professor, the only guy left over this ways, and these lot are having to run quite a long way to get there, but Mr. Bombastic goes down just before we leave him. They've almost taken it over here at AA Network with that huge number of players inside the point getting that 3-to-1 advantage, and even though we've got allies all around it, AA Network flips. It's now German controlled again, but by no means is this going to be an easy hold for them. You can see supplies falling basically just off the point, but it's pretty much on Heshi's head, it looks like. Olegio's, he's going to come up and grab those. It's going to be very tricky to place any garrison on those supplies there, and already we can see that the Allies taking the point back. They got to get those spawns really up, really nice and close. The Germans, if they want to hold this off for a little bit, and then they're probably going to need to start capping at cattle sheds. They have got Vistic up there. If they could have dropped those supplies up here and had Vistic place a garrison, they could have had some of these guys who are a little bit further back in Love Squad, Easy Squad. They could have spawned up here, put some pressure on cattle sheds, and maybe stopped this relentless fighting over at AA Network. Because, you know, one of the best ways in this game to kind of give yourself a little bit of a breather, allow yourself some space to kind of consolidate in defense, is actually to just do a little bit of attacking. If you can kind of start to, you know, if the Allies start to see this turn blue, a bunch of them are going to have to spawn back over there in order to defend it, and that's going to reduce the number of people who are fighting over this way. Let's have a little look at what they've got going on over here at Cattle Sheds. Pridas just lying down in the wheat field with his sniper rifle, but Blogis and Panos over here doing a good job of taking out, I think it was Vistic, right? The squad leader over there. Daddy Escobar and Llama, who are going to the back. I don't know what they're specifically going for over at the back here, but they probably want to be going to the artillery, although actually there's nobody here, so maybe they're just going to try and take out some of the nodes. We can see we've got some nodes here in the middle. There might be some over the other side as well. Yeah, there's 3 over here, as you can see. So they might just be trying to kind of cripple the Allies' supply game a little bit here. But it looks like quite a lot of blueberries all around AA Network now. Excuse me. They've managed to kind of force the Allies back a little bit. I'm guessing maybe Hunter or somebody over there got the garrison down. Oh well, the garrison would have gone on the flip, right? So I'm just trying to work out like where the boundary is. Yeah, so they're probably spawning at garrisons back here now, the Allies, which is obviously going to take its toll. If they couldn't keep their OPs up or could get their OPs up quick enough and in the right spot, gives them a lot more running to do. So, as I mentioned, a bit of a breather for the Axis. This to me sounds like a recon plane. Yes, it is. So that is the Allied recon plane going straight over the top here, identifying where a lot of these players are, although I think they probably know, really, right? They're in the point. 76 below us. Keep an eye on that. In terms of tanks for the Germans, they've got nothing in play. The Tiger way back here. The other one I think went down. We just missed it. The 75 got, or 76, excuse me, got a little bit of free reign here. Not too many players that can take it out. Aaron Offenman going around the back maybe for the flank. if one of them's got a satchel, that's what they need here. But they are getting a bit of pressure as well from Helga and Misek. Looks like Offerman's got the pipe. Sticks one up the backside. AA Network gets hit with the bombing run slightly after the recon plane, kind of meaning that those marks weren't probably the most accurate. And as we said before, it's not able to take out these OPs, and so they're going to just spawn back in straight on the point. They're going again to set up a garrison over here, I guess. We've got an OP in the field already here for the Allies. 76 falling back a little bit. Still smoking from that one he took in the tailpipe. Garrison's up now at AA Network, and their recon plane's going over the top. Interesting trajectory for the recon plane. I'm guessing they did it this way so they could also check castle sheds. That might be the rationale behind Mr. Bombastic choosing that for the recon plane. We can see from the air that maybe if he'd kind of gone this way along the 5 line, it would have identified perhaps more threats. But I think there's an intent to attack somewhere around here, you know, or not somewhere around here. Obviously they're attacking around here, but you know, there's an attack coming imminently is what I'm trying to say. But unless Vistic can kind of get into a good area, build a garrison or something, if he builds a garrison out here on some supplies, but we're seeing very kind defensive supply drops. Trying to get another garrison up in this area, and the commander's saying, oh no, it's Ducker saying attack this area. Is it really that important to attack that area? They are getting flanked a little bit here, but at the same time they've got a lot of people back. Calgon, etc. are back here. The Tiger's back here. You can see smoke on the 76 over there by Azimuth, but no marker, no tank marker at the moment, so it's going to be tricky for the Tiger to see them. Again, coordination so important for the win on this kind of game format, and really any game of Hell Let Loose. You know, if you're able to place those markers really nice and accurate, keep them up to date, allow your tanks to know where the other tanks are on the enemy team, allow your guys to know that there's infantry in certain areas. You know, if you see that OP, don't just like run and try and take it, mark it and take it. Tell your squad leader to mark it, because you know that's how you miss stuff. That's how you die. Start raging about, oh, I died, oh, I was just about to take their OP, well, where was it? Oh, it's on my body, but now your body's gone because you redeployed or whatever. So really important to get those markers down and nice and accurate. And we saw before like how, you know, the artillery markers, they were in the right area, but they weren't as accurate as they could have been, and that was kind of maybe making the artillery slightly less effective. So markers super important always. 76 moving up, 76, the Tiger moving up, and the 76 over there still by the trench area. Cuff managing to clear out whoever that was in the middle of AA Network, just about managing to hold on to it. I'm still keeping an eye on Vistic up there by his tank markers in F2. They really need to get some supplies down ahead, because they don't want to just be sitting here defending. You know, there's over an hour remaining in the game. You don't want to turtle up at this point, and this isn't even a turtle. You know, it's very spread out here. We can see lots and lots of players all out behind AA Network. Lots of players with Charlie and Echo Squad out here on the side. Not really an ideal location for them to be. These 4 squares not providing any capping power at all. You know, these sectors that we see here, yeah, it's great for flanking, but at the same time, when you're in there, you're not defending, you're not attacking. So important to move through those areas quickly. And if you get held up there, maybe just try something else. But again, you know, this kind of slightly spread out sort of garrisons, almost for the sake of garrisons type of arrangement here. Maybe that's kind of luring players a little bit. What's this rocket doing? That's a miss. Maybe just luring players into the false sense of, oh yeah, if we spawn over here on the garrison, maybe we can flank around, etc. Like, yeah, maybe you can, but if you're going to get held up here, and as we can see, there's enemy infantry marker placed here. If you're going to get held up here, is it really worth it? The airhead, though, it is clear, and that's great for them. Vistic and Predas maybe going to kind of support that area. Interesting that they've placed it so close to where they've marked the enemy garrison, but perhaps there's just nobody spawning here. Interesting place for the supplies as well, and again, coordination not exactly perfect here, with Vistig going away from the supplies where he probably really wants to be running towards them, or the commander wants him to be you know, over this side so he can drop supplies on him. But they have got a spawn wave in over here at the airhead. Not many people, it looks like, just Vaha, the one squad leader. They're going to probably go for that garrison. I'm interested though, because these guys below us with Thorpe, Beard, Juhaz, sorry mate, Sardaukar, Legios, they're basically on the Gary. They've taken the Gary out. You can see there's OPs all through the field below us as well, and they're going to start taking some of these out too, and that's bad. That's very, very bad for the Axis. You know, they haven't got a lot of people inside AA network. They haven't got any spawns inside AA network at all, or really that much around it. They've got this kind of slightly spread out garrison network. What that means is they've really only got one effective garrison here, and it's not great. It's not a great garrison. Oh, they managed to get another one up, and that's a far better place for a garrison over there, because what you really don't want is to have to run too far, right? Okay, you don't want your garrison right on the point maybe, because you're going to get artillery, because it's really obvious perhaps where it is, it's easy to take out, but you don't want to have to run too far, and you want options as well, because if one goes down, as we just saw, they've got one up here, but like if one goes down, and you haven't got another one up, and you have to run 400 meters, that's a long time. You know, that's time that the enemy's capping your point. And as we can see at the top here, with just under an hour remaining, they are capping the center point at AA network. Juhaz is running in. Wow, running in too from the opposite end. Not as many OPs anymore in this area, I don't think. I think a couple went down, maybe I'm wrong. But they need to get back into the circle and start consolidating here. I don't know what's going on over this way. They didn't manage to really get anything going on over here. I have literally no idea what happened there, but if they managed to get a few more people in. A lot of defenders back here though. Where's that garrison marker here? Is it still up? Yes it is, very much so. And I guess it's because it's like open fields, right? And because nobody was there to back up that airhead when they spawned in, it was sort of over here somewhere. They've spawned in, people have probably seen it falling because it's a nice open map, like real open areas. A lot of the time as well, that's where you want to be dropping. So like they drop the supplies here, but they drop the airhead here first. If they drop the supplies first, and then they drop the airhead on the other side, then people will have seen the supplies first, be running towards the supplies, looking in the air, and not like in the opposite direction, and not necessarily see the airhead. In actual fact, it's sort of went the other way round. Vistig literally needs to be going for these supplies, but Mr. Bombastic decided to do it himself. I don't know. Just resorted to doing it himself with a risky play, to be honest, with the truck. I mean, yeah, okay, it gets you there quick. Is he going to run himself over with these new truck mechanics? I saw it's still moving even after he jumped out then. But he has managed to get there unseen, or at least unkilled. Where is he? There he is. Let's go and check him out real quick. So quite nice covered road here, which is lucky because driving this deep with a support truck is kind of risky, to be honest. Vistig just going for like kills or whatever on the point, I guess. He's managed to place that marker before in the garrison, but he's not been effective at taking it out. Ideally wants to be covering the Gary really, or have the sniper player covering the Gary whilst he moves in and tries to take it out, but we've got loads of them spawning back here. Okay, that's good, as we mentioned before, because it's preventing some people from attacking AA network, some of these allies from attacking AA network, but it's also one of the problems. Like if you take too long on your attack, right? Like if you're able to really capitalize on the airhead quickly, if you're able to get on the garrison quickly with enough people, you can get into the cattle sheds or into the point before all of these lot have a chance to spawn back. As it is now, look how many defenders there are. Tricky. Obviously got a garrison down there as well somewhere, the Allies. But the Axis somehow managed to clear them out of this area to the, what's that, the west? Or the east, excuse me. Get which way we're like looking at the map. Interesting. He's not going to put a garrison in the middle of the field, is he? Who is it? It's FSG. I'm gonna have a chat with FSG afterwards. These guys spawning in at the garrison, just spreading out down the road, not really coordinating on the attack on cattle sheds. Probably would expect to see some sort of, you know, a recon plane, some artillery support over here, some smokes or something to get them inside cattle sheds. FSG's just messing about on the river over here. There he is. What an ugly mug. He's chosen the character model that looks like a thumb there. A classic. A network slightly falling. I'll go jump on that in a minute. Doing a good job of having, you know, defensive and attacking power though here, the Allies, despite being very, very spread out. You know, when we were just looking at them from high in the air, they are really, really, really spread out. So let's speed this up a little bit. It's frustratingly slow. You know, we've got guys all the way back here at the hamlet, basically. We've got all this lot over the side with FSG. We've got guys all over here. And they've still managed to get all the way round into this wheat field, clear out the point. They're basically all over AA network. The defenders, like, well, there were a lot of defenders here, but I guess they moved up. Cattle sheds is quite well defended still though, and with this little kind of despawn in here, it's quite a powerful spot because, as you can see, like we spoke about earlier, you want spawns where you can get to points quickly, right? And they can push to AA network from here, and they can also defend cattle sheds, so it's an important point. But this attack having some effect, they are actually starting to tip it over here at cattle sheds. But if it was me, I'd be putting smokes down too. You know, putting something in, a recon plane or something, just to help bolster this attack. Because the last thing you want is to kind of have a few of your guys like dying, trickling in, and then have to fall all the way back to that hedge line and start running again from the garrison and stuff. We need, you know, they need to get the OPs up close to the point, and at the moment it's only Jig who's got an OP anywhere near. There's no squad leaders here. Mr. Bombastic is running in, but he can't place any OPs. Garrison will be useless that close to the point because there's a 100-meter proximity spawn block radius on it. There's obviously going to be enemies within 100 meters if you place it close to cattle sheds. This is where Vistic and Predus need to really come into their own and start helping out with the kills here. It looks like they've managed to get that garrison now, but Predus is going to need to cover a flank here. You can see they're throwing the manual smokes, but where's the artillery smoke? I'm looking even for artillery markers. I don't see any. No one's even on the artillery at the moment. I'd suggest that's not a good move on this map, but it could be that they've just been sniped off it. If we kind of flip back over to the other side real quick, we'll just have a little look. It could be that Lonkis and Tafin have just sniped whoever it was off the artillery, so not able to get the smokes at this critical moment. AA network as well, having this real big flank on it from the rear. And unless they can start really doing something over at cattle sheds, it looks like a bunch of people have spawned in now here probably for the Allies, or they've put the reinforce down. Unless they can start doing something significant over there, they're going to start to really lose AA network because they've committed way too many people outside of the point and they're pushed out too far. Okay, these guys, they have to clear out OPs, they have to try and defend, but at the same time, you need people inside the point because it can flip so easily, and that capping power of 3-to-1 inside the black circle, you don't want to be messing with that. See if we can catch this tank battle here. That's a nice hit. But an even nicer one in return. 76, very, very powerful gun. They can hit them once more here in the Tiger. They're done for. They're 2-hit here in the 76, but this one's going... Ooh, how did that not kill them? That's unfortunate. Just literally clipped against the bush. A ricochet again. Assman getting out to repair, I guess, in a bit of a crazy maneuver. No way. And the 76 now has free reign to open up the machine gun on those infantry. Still not looking good here at all at AA Network. They're starting to get back a little bit. They've got some people over at these buildings in the compound here to the east, but it's not looking great. And look how many defenders there are on the point. And what did we say? They had to go all the way back to the hedge line and run in. Jigs OP went down. He's put another one up over here, but it's just not enough. The Phalanx guys there, good defenders. They've managed to get back, spawn on that garrison. And again, you know, this is the kind of thing where you need that recon squad to either have these things marked, have them covered. You need those smokes to cover the area to stop them getting those OPs up, because that OP in that wheat field, it's just too powerful. There's nothing they can do about it. Let's go catch up with Pridas and, you know, before I like criticize the guy too much, let's see how effective he's being. So he's literally bushwalking here. Has he seen the OP? Is it marked? No. He's going to see a whole bunch of people spawn in front of him in a minute. Getting cocky with the sprint key. Get out the bush. Can't see. Let's just like detach ourselves from him a little bit. Oops, way too sensitive there. Now that OP is literally right there, look. How has he not seen him? It's painful. There we go. Nice kill. But FOY voice over by the wall there. Nice kill again. Will he see them spawn in now, or is he going to get ADHD and turn around just at the last minute when they spawn in? Can he wait the 20 seconds? Fancy moving up, but he's got his back to the OP. Fortunate moment to reload, maybe. Ah, he's got away with it. Clancy creeping up the road. Come on. Where are they at? Pridas getting bored just like me. Starts to move off, just like we said he might. I don't know if it's still here even. I don't hear it. Maybe they got it. Whoa. Clancy taking shots. Just not being effective in attack here, and it's meaning that they're not being effective in defense either. We've got Thorpe, we've got Heshi in the point. Mr. Bombastic dropping supplies on himself because again they've lost garrisons. Garrison below us is red hot as well. That's going to go down any second. Typhon's on it. Ari looking for him. See those guys spawn on the OP there as well. Hey, he's managed to clear him off it, so that's a nice kill there from Ari. Vrock as well goes down to Wojtek. He's now pushing this field. Has he got the shooting skills to be able to take out these guys? That was insane. I don't know what just exploded then, but he got destroyed. Sent back to the loading screen. Wojtek with shots and... Can he get Sardaukar? Sardaukar knows he's there. He throws the nade. Surely he can hear him. Surely he can see him. Who's going to get the kill? Oh, don't sprint. Don't sprint. Worst idea yet. Hard cover now for Sardaukar, but goes down. Nice kill, Wojtek. Whoa. Getting shot at by Legios there, big time. He's got to reload though. He doesn't know where he is. He's just opening up on Beardman. He needs support here. Where's his teammate? Come on, Ari. You must be able to see them spawn in there, surely. It's hard to see with the angle. Obviously, we've got the height advantage here. But these guys on the ground, it's pretty brutal. Wow. Yeah, Wojtek's seen where they're spawning in from now. Oh my god, but gets shot from Juhas. Oh, mate, I can't say this guy's name. I'm so sorry. Juhas. Juhas. So sorry, bro. Brutal. Still absolutely savage fighting here at the middle point with the 76 moving in. Don't know if this is the same 76 we saw earlier. Quite possibly. Finland's let loose. Interesting they shot that Pole let loose tank, if it is them. Poles let loose, the Pole let loose Poland. Those guys fighting this weekend, of course, in the seasonal, as I mentioned before. Hopefully the stream's working okay for you guys. I mean, fingers crossed. Oh, I've got no internet. Oh yeah, I do. Let's go. Let's go. I'm gonna check it for you now. Domaining in the chat, nice to see you. Holger too. Let me check the sound. Well, seems to be working a bit. Maybe it's a bit quiet. Do let me know if it's a bit quiet. I can turn it up. Let's just crank it. There you go. Turn it up a little bit. Massive thanks, as always, to Core and Don D for providing the service for Squadline Battle. Today, we're on the Don D one, I believe, but I'm not sure. But yeah, huge thanks to them. You know, they don't get anything for it, but very community spirited of them to help out and provide it. Doing a good job now, the Germans, of getting back and consolidating on A network, although there is this one spawn in here, Thorpe, trying to get some shots out, but Mr. Zinka maybe got another spawn over there. Grenades going out inside that little ditch thing that they're in. Polemos is literally just like lying in the corner here. These guys holding the area as best they can. Thorpe with nice kills on Revan and Mr. Strasleg. Gets Calgon out in the field as well. Still not doing too well on the artillery back here. I don't know if they're just being sort of slapped about or what's going on, but they are capping inside the point here. So despite this nice work of the Germans to get back, what's happened is that these guys who are inside the circle, they're all counting for 3 players, and that means that just when a few of these others get just inside of these 4 squares, it's starting to tip the balance, especially with this tank, you know. So we've got 3 in the tank, 3 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 at least inside there, 10 below us, and then another 9 here for basically 20 people inside the point, effectively. And that just goes to show you like the power of just having a few people inside that circle and how it can tip the balance. You know, you don't have to have everybody in there necessarily, but just having a few people in there. Yo, no connection, what's going on, man? Just having a few people in there can make a massive difference. Again, with the garrisons, like, slightly unusual placement. The one in D5 makes sense. The one in C6, I would say maybe doesn't. The same with the one in H5. For me, it's not the most effective placement. It's kind of, you know, garrisons for garrison's sake is maybe what I'd term it. Yeah, we've got garrisons up, but why? Why are they in those areas? Is it useful? Is it a distraction? You know, we saw earlier some players in Charlie and Easy Squad getting kind of, don't want to say distracted exactly, but they were spawning in over there. They got into some trouble over there. They were getting caught up over in those sectors. So perhaps not that useful. A network's really hanging in the balance here. The Germans just about managed to get back. They have killed a lot of those players inside the point now, which again goes to show just how important it is to be alive inside the point. Carlo, the only dude in there from the Allies. Build a garrison out in this field, says Mr. Bombastic. Ambitious. But he can't see what we can see. Is that a recon plane that just flew over the top? No, it was supplies for the Axis falling on King Squad over here. Now that's a better place for a garrison. So 40 minutes still left on the clock. AA network still the central point, still the center of the battle. Recon tank over here in the field is going a bit mad. No one's there with the rocket pipe at the moment, but Sardukar's coming. Charza not having it. Behave. Sit down. You can't flank us that easy, that's what they're saying. And here come the Axis now spawning actually into the point, and that's a better thing for them. They've got a lot of guys inside the circle now, and it makes all that difference. But this again is where they need to be not getting shelled. And it sounded to me like that was an artillery shell. Wish I could see the map to just check it, but yeah, Liege over here, really great player, sitting on the artillery. We've got Predes maybe going to get him, I guess. I'm not really sure, like just kind of mooching about in this wheat field. Don't know quite who he's expecting to see in the middle of the field there, but he needs to really get in there and help his team out here. Not a great spawn though. You know, if he does get killed over here, then he's got a long old way to run. I don't know if Vistic's trying to support this over here or what the plan is, but ideally you want like one whole recon squad going back to the RT, not just like one dude, because unless it's the squad leader, you know, where do they spawn? They've got so far to run if they do get killed, and it does happen. It's a naughty little spawn down there, isn't it? CC squad coming in hot, but meeting a lot of resistance. Wojtek, who we saw slapping earlier, getting a few kills, but look, they're basically on the garrison here, this team. Whoa! That broke my computer with the satchel. Nice little play there from the Allies to take out the garrison on the point. Very, very defensive recon plane here. And in some ways, a bit... So look, here's the thing. If your squads are placing good infantry markers, then you know where the infantry are roughly, and that's where you can use a recon plane to really nail down exactly where they are, and then use stuff like artillery, use your bombing run, use, you know, guys who are close by to take them out. At the moment, I mean, this recon plane is going over the top, like, not really identified too much going on because it's speculative. Like, Mr. Bombastic, he doesn't know whether there's people here, so he's got to try and use the recon plane to find out. No, there aren't, really. So, not a waste of a recon plane, but, like, could it have been used more effectively if there was more of an idea of, like, where they were coming from? Probably. Guys spawning in over on this side as well, and I do get it. I don't want to be too mean about this this garrison over here. I do get it, because you don't want to get flanked too easily, but in some ways it's not really stopping them from getting flanked, because they don't have to go that far out. They can just come through the wheat field here, as we've seen several times. And the CC squad still spawning back here on this dirty little spawn. Ah, it goes down though. It's important to get that one. And the squad leader's dead also. Covenor coming in below us against Helga. But runs through the smoke and gets shot as he comes out of it. I want to know what Karawa's full name is. Things let loose. I scroll past him immediately. Oh, wrong team, that's why. God, it's so annoying that they're not in any kind of order. At least put them in alphabetical order, guys. Please. Let me see it. Karuwari. I understand we don't want to be able to see who's in what tank squad anymore, but Please, help us out. Do it for the casters. Okay, but this one I don't get. So mean. Have they managed to take out the artillery yet? Let's go check it. Preda's given up on the artillery if he has. Yep, nobody there now. So I guess he won that one, which is good. I don't know if Paddy's just gone over here to try and get nodes. I feel like he's been out here ages. There's still a node over there. Maybe he's just hanging around trying to shoot tank squads spawning in, but ain't no tank squad spawning in on that. Let me know in chat if you think I'm too critical. If you think I should get down there and do it all myself, you know, and then die over and over and show you how bad I am at the game. Nice shots from off when they're on the 76, with another one moving up in support. Or is that a 75? 75. This is looking again very, very convincing from the Allies, but can they make it work this time? Can they keep it, make it stick? They need that tank support. This 76 doesn't want to fall back too far. At the end of the day, like, they've got very, very strong frontal armour, and okay, they got a bit close and caught a tasty rocket on the side, but at the same time, if they fall back too far, they're taking themselves out of the fight. They don't need to do that, really. Recon tank over here, but that's it. Nice area control here from the Allies. I reckon they've got this one in the bag, especially if these tanks can just hang around and keep putting pressure on these guys spawning in over here. Alright, there's loads of them, but again, they're not inside the circle. The reinforce is down, but it's not doing enough. That goes to show there's not enough people in the circle, or rather too many Allies in there. Nice shots though to take some of them out. Don't know who that was over here on this corner, but they just took about 3 of them out. Bombing run coming in. It's a bit of a desperate bombing run here on unknown targets. Yeah, we've got some infantry markers now, but they're not accurate. Bombastic throws the bombing run at open space, unfortunately. He wasn't to know. But look, they're literally spawning in the trench right here. Again, tank getting way too close. No need. Like, you're fighting infantry. What's the point? Have they got an AT gun down? Not even. He's marked now. The 76 has decided to... He's healed and safe. Was that Jaws that just shot his own tank? I think it might have been just then. Maybe I'm bad mouthing the man. That's what it looked like. They were doing so well here, the Allies. They've still got so many people inside the point, but they just need those tanks to concentrate on the right thing. Nice. Okay. Here we go, guys. The Lux is coming in. This'll fix it. Not necessarily the best tank strategy here. But they're not bothering with those tanks. Very, very sensible. I would keep well away from them. Problem is though, all it takes is, like, if Alfie there had a rocket, this guy driving past him is just too tasty, and B up ahead, he's going to cross the road just at the wrong time. He knows he's there, but has he got a rocket or is he a satchel guy? Yeah, he's got a rocket. Gets out into the road. This is going to be it for this Lux. What? Well. Charmed. Nader with the satchel coming though. Shooting himself. I think Nader has a satchel. Has nades. Just the straight push to cattle sheds. Who cares about infantry support? Let's go over to AA network. Just messing about over here whilst all this crazy stuff's going on. Look how many allies in the point here. They managed to make the tank play work here. And they flip it with half an hour to go. Looking at these garrisons as well, you know, this is where that garrison strat is just not really going to pay off for them because they've only got one. They've got one in defence, they've got that one sort of half an attack. It's dropping some supplies over there to the northwest, but let's go and have a little look at this spot actually, because I'm curious whether this is actually an effective place to be dropping supplies. Possibly not. Not a lot of cover there. Lots of places that you might be able to, if you were say like an ally, you know, a USA soldier, you might be able to run in and take it out. Nice, nice control of the area though now here, the allies, and pushing through, and this is important. Okay, they don't want to like leave it undefended here, but they've got to push through. They've got to take out these OPs that they know are going to be here. And you can see again the counterattacks coming. It's almost like real Germany in World War II. Counterattacks coming. They've managed to have some people as well up on artillery I can hear behind me. Just shelling the point. At the moment it's not necessarily that helpful to shell the point though. Gets a few kills probably, but you know, it's not going to help the guys to push up here. And they need to place their markers. I don't see a single infantry marker here from the Germans. They must know where they are. Okay, here's one from Fox. This again is where that coordination can make life easier. You know, at the end of the day, if you work together well, that is hell let loose. That's how you win it, and we see that all the time. At the weekend, we were watching those games. It's the difference a lot of the time between the super top tier teams and even the ones that played well in the qualifiers. Everybody knows exactly what they're doing, and they almost don't need to communicate, but they still do, and they do it really effectively. They get their spawn points in the right spots. They move them up. They fall them back when they need to. You know, they hold them when they need to. They do the redeploys at the right time. You know, we saw that airhead earlier. 3 people spawned on it. That was an active airhead within about 400 meters of the enemy point, and 3 people spawned on it. Just couldn't make it happen. And I do wonder if some of that's down to the comms here when we're looking at the map, and I'm just not really seeing any markers. Like Epic can see the line of infantry here. Jazzy, that Hell Let Loose player I missed, who just went down. Hell Let Loose Poland player, who just went down. Matt's here, can place a marker. Does place a marker. That's Matt's, right? Yep. Mr. Strelitz doesn't have anything up at the moment. What are these sounds that I'm hearing? Is this the Lux over here? They're still up. Amazing. Getting a real little flank on here, aren't they? Legios playing really well all game. All these guys from this 82 AD, the Don D, all these lot, they're playing really well. Oh, that's a Garrison. Our Professor as well, we've seen play well at the weekend, as I said before as well. Now they've got to be a bit careful here, the Germans, that they don't all kind of leave the hamlet undefended. You know, they haven't got a lot of garrisons back. They're doing okay with the defensive garrisons here, don't get me wrong. They've got some okay kind of proximity going on here, or like a warning system around the point with the OPs, but they are a little bit far outside of it, some of them, and whilst it's important, you know, we can see them creating this front line, and a front line that meets the enemy head on, you know, in the straightest line towards the point of attack is very, very important. But if you spread it too wide, if you spread too thin, it can be a problem. But equally, if you bunch up and get too narrow, it can also be a problem, as we're seeing maybe a little bit here for the Allies. They're getting a bit sort of squeezed into this area, not managing to be quite as effective as they'd like, probably. Nice little spawn wave came in over here, I just saw. Easy marked hit. Nice one. Not quite accurate, but the intent is there. And again, that's good marking from these squads here. Thought it was the Poles again, but it was Mr. Strelic, who I actually criticised earlier. Sorry, buddy. Sorry, mate. God, my computer's really not enjoying it today, is it? Should have closed some other stuff down in the background. What have we got for you on the tabs? Get rid of that, get rid of that. VoIP is down. Oh no. Hopefully not everyone's VoIP is down. Revan, 501st up there. The game chat. This is a low rumble. There it is. Slightly speculative again from Mr. Bombastic. Does get a few kills with it. Might have been better down the road here, but I don't know if this was quite the right time to use it. Perhaps we'll talk about bombing runs in the interview at the end, because I think we've seen a couple now from the German side here that just haven't really hit the mark. We saw that amazing one from the Allies earlier. That I mean, I don't know how many kills FSG's got right now. Really, not many. Mostly from that one bombing run, I think. Okay, so despite being quite narrow in their line of attack there, they're doing well. The Allies are clearing out the Germans, and they've got some people flanking also. Seen these attacking players before. Jew has. Playing well. Got a runny nose, hopefully it's not COVID. That is the #1 symptom of the new variant, so keep an eye out for that, guys. Don't go and spread it to your loved ones or whatever. Got a runny nose, do your tests. Maybe just don't go out, I don't know. Okay, they're starting to take it, but they're also in a cap race at the hamlet. Not convinced by the cap necessarily at the hamlet, although this little light tank inside does make a big difference. Although Kato's going to put pay to that in a second. Look how close he is to the garrison. Saudakar. Not shooting his own tank. Who was it before who shot their own tank? Oh, I thought shot their own tank. I hope they did. That would be so funny. Get a clip of it. We'll check it. Okay. Interesting. Strafing run. That's a frustration move there. Strafing run is not really a particularly effective use of munitions. It could be because we've got Llama back here blocking the artillery, so they can't kind of use arty instead. But usually the strafing run is inferior to the artillery. Come on, computer! What is happening? I've literally got such a decent computer nowadays. It shouldn't be struggling like this. It might be my internet, to be fair. It's been a bit funny all day. I've been trying to do my work. So much to do before Thursday, when the new financial year comes in. Probably have to do some more work after this, to be honest. Look, they're all the way back here at L6. Bombastic and Lonix in a pitched battle here. Long keys, sorry, not Lonix. Cap race is not happening anymore. Monkey's got the carry. It's like just here at the end of this building, I think. Yeah, it's there, look. You must know he's still there. Come on, Bombastic. No! Tayfon's here as well. I guess they took out whoever was in that truck as well. Got a bit shut out of the point here at AA Net with the Germans. Sorry about the crazy camera work. Thanks for the follow, Holger, by the way. Decent Gary up by Charlie in E5. Very, very wide one over an H5. Interesting that that's hot. Some wide allies as well. It's just parachute over here. What he's up to. Random. This is like a pub gameplay where you just get like the level 10 dude like just running in the middle of nowhere. It's so frustrating. You're like, why would anybody ever be here? Still holding it well though at AA Network with 17 minutes left on the clock. It's starting to get a bit to crunch time here. The Germans did a good job a lot of the game holding on to the point. Okay, they didn't manage to claim cattle sheds for themselves, but they were doing okay at defence. But it's flip-flopped a couple of times, but they're definitely on the back foot here now, and they've got all these people out wide. I don't really know quite why they're all the way out here. This one's red hot again. Somebody's actually on it. Dieter just kind of needs to get right up there and nade it or something, but slow going. Running in this game is so slow. Okay, so we've got smoke artillery coming out now. Kind of in support of the push here, and it will allow is that black shooter to get up? Let's check the name. Black shooter to get up there, but he's got to place that OP. Able OP all the way back here, as you can see, but he goes down. Fortunately for him, couldn't get one up in this wheat field. It's a nice spot for it. Ari's going to go down to B in a minute, maybe. Or maybe the other way around. Mr. Zinker up with the flank. Ari goes down to B, but Zinker gets B. Pakov now inside the point. Varhard 2. Can they get their OPs down? Pakov's got a good one here, it looks like. Look how many allies, though, out in this field. Yikes. Allied recon plane. It's going to identify a lot of these guys. Show them there's only 2 or 3 in there. They don't need to do much. Vaha's got to get that OP down, surely, in Jig Squad. I don't know where his OP is. Maybe he tried to put it down already and it got taken. It's just waiting on a timer. Satiri, the Phalanx legend here. Oh my god, game, come on. So choppy. This is why I don't play. Can't live like that. What's the frames we got? 79. .76 here. Not sure these guys are going to last much longer in that Lux. I don't know if it's the same Lux as earlier. I literally can't believe that it is. But the 76 doing the right thing, pushing up through their friendly infantry a little bit. As long as he doesn't go too far, that's the trick here. Some shots from the Lux, but he's going to get satcheled. I think Blogis has just satcheled him. Tag jumps out to try and dismantle it, gets a kill, gets killed by Blogis. They're going down to this satchel. Bartini and Lastman jump out, both get shot. Schoolboy error. It's like triple exploded here with the satchel. They really wanted them dead. See this garrison over here in the wheat field as well. Nice little spot for it. Hamlet's going down. They've got no garrison on the point here. The Germans. They've got some people kind of inside, but they're getting really pushed from the bottom here at the southwest. It's a bit of a soft cap, you know, they haven't got anything super close, the Allies. They haven't got loads of people inside, but again, it's that thing. You can't attack if you're being attacked. You've got to fall back and defend. And with only 12 minutes on the clock, it's not what the Germans need right now. They need those strong defensive players to be in the point, around the point, you know, holding down that area. They don't need half their team running back across fields. They've got to be getting forward and taking AA network. They are trying though. They are trying, and we see Ducker, we see Pakov here, squad leaders. Vaha still inside the point somehow. Has Cool got his supplies down? Not yet. Still not going to be enough. What am I hearing? This is the recon plane. Identifying a lot of enemies, but it's always tricky because they're red on red. Got to get that colorblind mode going. Has it spotted the tank? Yes. But they knew it was there anyway. This is where they need the smokes. Still got one person on the gun back here. Have they managed to get this garrison up yet? Not yet. That's a place, just not managed to get it up. Bombing run coming in somewhere. It's the Allied one, so I'm guessing it's going to be back here. Oh no. Oh no, it's not. It's another bombastic bombing run into nowhere. Getting plenty of guys into the point here, but again, you know, they're really struggling from this flank. The whole game they've been struggling from this flank. These wheat fields, very, very powerful. Something to watch out for if you're playing on AA network as the Germans. You know, and we saw the recon plane go over before, but like it was so long between the recon plane and the bombing run that those marks just weren't accurate anymore. So I don't know if that's because the cooldown wasn't quite there on the bombing run yet, or just, you know, maybe Bombastic got shot in the meantime or something. But they were a little bit far away from each other, and it meant just wasn't as effective as he'd like. Again, unfortunately. Sounds to be like a recon the other way. Yep, Allied recon. Nine minutes left on the clock, and it's make or break time now for the Germans. Allies kind of struggling a little bit in defence, but they're doing a decent enough job to hold it. They've got some enemies in the point, but it doesn't matter when you've got tanks there, when you've got so many people in the sector around it. Doing a better job now of placing their markers around that hamlet, and they are defending well. Again with the recon plane, with the strafing run, I mean. That one actually did get a couple of kills, I think. Stick taking out a Gary over here. I guess that's why he's standing still. This is where they need to get the Gary out, though, isn't it? Out here and in this field. Plus over here, clearly. But they fought them off the point again, the Allies here. And it's been a good one. You know, oftentimes that's the thing about squad line battle. You know, I know I've probably been quite critical tonight, really, but both teams, you know, in terms of like shooting wise and everything, like they play well, right? Like it's been tough. You can't just easily do these things I'm easily saying, you know, as they say, easier said than done, right? Because I can say, well, maybe they should do this, maybe they should do that, but when you're up against other players, another 50 players who know what they're doing, it's hard. It's a grind sometimes. It's very sweaty, and especially here, like we said, AA network, quite a fair point, pretty well balanced. We've seen tank games, we've seen good infantry play, we've seen bombing runs and artillery, we've seen smokes, all the rest of it, and they've still been struggling, both teams really, to get anywhere further than AA battery. We've seen the odd soft cap, but it's nothing like a steamroll, is it? And to be honest, in some ways that's what you want, right? Like if you're gonna come and play a game like Squad Line Battle, you don't just want to get steamrolled, or you don't want to steamroll the enemy. You want to play it. I just saw Hamlet flash there. You just want to play it like for the love of the game. And if you love the game, then you want to play a long, grindy game, really. Sometimes it gets frustrating, but that is it. That is the nature of Hell Let Loose. That is being in hell, isn't it? Relentless punishment. Literally. I like this move from the Allies on Hamlet. There's only a couple of axes still in the point. Oh, Professor, nice kill. Is he going to get his OP up? Kato shooting Zardakar and somebody else there with nice shots. Black Wolf hanging back. The OP's further back. I mean, you'd normally expect to see it closer to the point than the garrison, but playing it pretty safe there. We're just waiting for some backup before he just runs in, which is a good move. Always nerve-wracking when you see the point getting taken, but There's no point just running in alone against 4 or 5 guys when you don't know where they are. Always better to wait for the backup. More smokes down on AA network. Can they make the most of it this time? They have got people up. I just saw a black shooter going down in the field though. Ducker over to our left. He's the other squad leader that I can see. They need those OPs up. They've got some obviously like on the path in, but unless they can really kind of get them up in this field, get something going on over here at Howe marker, it's going to be tricky with only 5.5 minutes left on the clock. And realistically speaking, that's 3.5 because it takes 2 minutes to cap the point. It's like junk time for the last 2 minutes. Still keeping the pressure up here, the Allies. Very sensible. Much easier to defend if you're keeping half their players back in defence. By no means are they kind of turtling up here, the Allies. They are pushing. It's just really tough going. This might be the last kind of chance at like a big push here for the Axis. They've got 119 more munitions in the pot. Are they gonna drop them now? This will be the time. Get those artillery shells in. Get the smokes in. Get your dudes inside AA network. This is where you want that bombing run. Still in the bag, but so hard to manage right at the end of the game to keep enough supplies to do stuff like that. Speaking of which, FSG with a beautiful last-minute bombing run. Even though the Axis players went all the way back there, we saw them. They took out a bunch of the nodes. Still got enough munitions there waiting. And look, that's just allowed so many people to spawn in there on the point. They've still got 2 tanks moving up. There's the 76 immediately behind AA network, but then there's another 75 or something in the field over here. Yep, thanks for marking it. Appreciate that, Baker. To be honest, I feel like it's not going to happen here for the Axis. They've still got people close, don't get me wrong, but with the tanks there and stuff, and a minute remaining, just got bombed out of their minds. I can't see it. I can't see it. With that many red circles in the AA network there. I don't want to speak too soon and get the scores up and start kind of giving people shout outs, but at the same time, you know, I really can't see it at the moment. Is that the airhead dropping? Is that in the point? Just like drop some red parachuted thing in the point there. Probably given up a little bit on Hamlet now. The Allies, yeah. They're just defending. This is going to make it even harder. 4. Don't know if that just timed out that truck over there, but the game's timed out now. They haven't started to cap. It's 2 minutes left. AA network still in the possession of the Allies, and FSG and the Allies with the win on this one. So, as I said, it's been an absolute grind for both teams there. It's flip-flopped a couple of times. I think the Allies took it first, then the Germans took it back, held it for a long time, then it flipped again. Maybe even it flipped another time right at the start. I forget now, but real to and fro game here on AA network, and it's nice to see a bit of a grind, a bit of a long one, and go the full 90 minutes for the players here, because it only happens once a week, so it's good to get a good long session in instead of just being an easy steamroll. We've had a few over the years. I say years. I'm sure over the years. I haven't been doing this years. Over the last, what, 6 months that I've been doing it. Exaggerating so much. Talking absolute rubbish. Great scores here for the black shooter squad here. We saw them on attack, like really pushing Ari. We saw pushing a lot. Calgon we saw pushing a lot. Don't know if he's managed to like kill some tanks there or something, but that's a huge score. Saw Llama and Paddy Escobar taking out the nodes at the back. Who else has we've seen play well? Easy Squad, nice with the markers. Wojtek, we saw like really some smashing stuff from him there. On the attack too. A lot of these Hell Let Loose Poland players getting good scores. I mean, loads and loads of people getting great scores. You know, some of these real high kill scores, because it's been such a grind. You know, when it's like that, you get a high combat effectiveness score because Bullseye has been commander many times. Very good player. PBS squad smashing it. PBS next champions. What do you reckon, guys? Or at least Poland guys who are over in that Lux. Love to see that. And there it is. There it is. GG, Mr. Bombastic says GG in the chat. Let's have a little look at the other side. We've got Dundee Liege. We saw him playing well too. Bloggers from his squad with the nice little satchel that we saw. Beardman and his squad there with some nice kills. Sardakive we shouted out a couple times. We've got some of the Fin Let Loose guys with great scores. Jarzar there with a real nice score. Some more Fin Let Loose with high scores. Some more Fin Let Loose with high scores in the tank. We saw them playing well in the tank. A little bit timid maybe at times with the 76. Kind of pushed up a bit far, got hurt, pulled all the way back, but stayed alive, and that's so important when you're playing tanks. So yeah, really nice stuff from them. We'll just quickly finish having a look at some of these scores, and then we'll go and see if we can jump in with the commanders in the game chat. Speak to them. Scars and the guys from Phalanx doing a nice job in the tank there. Shout out to Scarsy boy. Gonna have a cool event as well. Keep an eye out on Phalanx. I think we're gonna have a cool event. Another Battle of Tannenberg event, which will be really cool. So. Definitely looking forward to that one. Got these guys in the interview chat though, so let's have a little word with them.
Yeah, that's a good sign. They did their job.
Hey guys.
Hi.
Good game. Good game.
Yep.
That was a tough one.
Definitely. GG.
Yeah, I'm so disappointed, man. I had no idea.
It literally like flipped and flopped, and it was Axis allies. It was a great one. So obviously, kind of we saw, I think, probably fair to say from both teams, like really high combat effectiveness scores from all the squads. How did you feel like the coordination was going? Maybe Bombastic, if you could start us off. Like, did you find like the coordination today was good with the squads?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good, except on maybe one or two occasions. But yeah, usually whenever the point was under pressure, they were really quick to redeploy. And a couple of times I thought we were fucked, but just 2 or 3 squads dropping back saved us. So yeah, I think it was pretty good.
So
Maybe
decent on defense.
We lacked a bit of coordination in attack, maybe.
Yeah, I saw that airhead go down early on, and only 2 or 3 people spawned on it, and I thought that was going to be your like big chance to take Castle Sheds maybe. And then you got that nice. You drove up like a madman in that supply truck and built the garrison up near Cattle Sheds as well. And it just, I don't know, it just kind of didn't pay off. You could have done with some smoke artillery, but FSG, your guys took out the artillery, so that was nice recon play.
I think I had only one guy on Archie, and he did his very best.
He did his very best, absolutely, and towards the end really helped you guys out with the smokes. But fantastic bombing run at the end there, FSG, and a nice bombing run earlier on in the game as well. How did you think the coordination and stuff went today?
Mostly fine. Sometimes if you tell them something to do, they just don't. But that's, I think, the spirit of the game, that some people sometimes just don't listen. But at most times this was super.
Yeah, and like I say, good bombing runs. Bombastic, you got a little bit, I don't know, I was rooting for you with those bombing runs, but you kind of missed 2 or 3. Was that because like a couple of times you put the recon plane over, but then it was like maybe, I don't know, 30 seconds or something until the bombing run, and so people had kind of moved from where they were. Was that because you like died in between or something, or was that just like a cooldown timing thing, or?
Once it was because I got shot in the face right at the moment when I was clicking the bombing run
Oh, I
on
thought it
heavy
might be
tank
something like
inside strong point. I was so pissed.
that.
And one of the time it was just a cooldown. I just dropped the recon because I had no idea where the defense was,
Hmm.
and I knew I couldn't back it up with a bombing run, but
But
just
you had
tried
to
it.
chuck it over the top anyway. Yeah, I mean that's one of the things about coordination is getting the markers down, having the squads place markers so you can kind of tell where people are at all times. We saw some nice tank plays as well today, and well, some tank kills as well from the infantry. We'll get onto that maybe in a minute, but I think the Finns Let Loose tankers from the Allies played really pretty decent game today, and really kind of supported the point at AA Network. Was that part of the plan to use the tanks in a defensive capacity, FSG?
Well, I told them, do what you want, but you also have to defend sometimes, so watch for that. And it looks like they listened and saw the defense need help, and they went to help. That's beautiful.
Yeah, nice. And Bombastic, you guys, you had a team of Poles in a Lux that I don't know if it's the same Lux that stayed alive for like 25 minutes and they were just driving around killing people, but um, they they were on their own mission. In terms of what
I didn't spawn any luck, so I guess they kept alive.
they just stayed alive, that's incredible. In terms of your kind of command style and what you're telling the tanks to do and what you're telling the squads to do, are you quite relaxed in terms like FSG saying, I just said to people, well, do what you want, sometimes you have to defend, or are you kind of a bit more, commanding, as it were? What's the
Yeah, I
strat?
think that's one of my baby weaknesses. I don't command tanks enough. I told one to stay on defense and the other one to support the attack, but I didn't keep a close look to what they were doing exactly. So maybe at a couple times, if I had switched between who's on defense and who's on attack
Hmm.
in the tanks, I could have we could have used the sport, but I was so focused on the infantry, I most of the times I didn't think to look for the tanks.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's easy for me to say all this stuff because I can see it from the air, but when I play this game, I'm an infantry infantry player, and my mind is like all infantry. So um, I totally relate to that one. So what do you think, Bombastic? What do you think like went well for you guys today? I mean, I've got my own idea, but do you have anything that you're like particularly pleased with? Obviously, you've kind of played as commander just recently as well. So, do you think you kind of improved from that, or you've learned some stuff? And what went well today?
What went well is that we didn't get mid cap, but yet we didn't panic. We just set back up, set back our Gary network, and start working from there. And that's what I like when I comment. It's to have constant pressure, but also guys keeping it up in the back, so to secure the current point and even the further one, just
Hmm.
in case. And I knew if we kept pressure long enough on AA, we would cap it eventually, which we did. And I also knew if we didn't have enough pressure on cattle sheds, we would eventually lose AA, and we did. So yeah, the weak point from my perspective was the sustained pressure on the cattle sheds.
Yeah,
Because had we sustained that pressure a bit longer, I think we would have kept it. Maybe not kept it, but at least kept it, and bought us some time.
yeah, for sure. I mean, like sort of attack is the best form of defense, kind of, isn't it? Like if you can draw some of their guys back to defend, then well, they're not attacking you anymore. So, how about you, FSG? What do you think went well for you guys today?
So definitely the Garrison network. On all times it was like, we always had 6-7 garrisons up,
Hmm.
and most of them in defense, but that was always good. So we had always somewhere to spawn.
Yeah, I was watching you kind of driving in the truck like a madman deep in the enemy lines. Both of you guys were doing that, to be fair. So hats off to you both for your efforts at garrison building today. You really committed to you know to going deep with the Garys. What do you think, FSG? What do you think maybe you'd like to improve for next time? Obviously, you're a returning commander here as well. So
Yeah, so I definitely was not concentrated. Like I drove 2 support trucks into trenches and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And yeah, it was a bit too much to do, you know. But I think that's yeah.
You get that from practice, I suppose, as well, don't you?
Yeah, it was just one game, you know, where I had maybe I didn't sleep enough.
Got you.
But next time I will be highly concentrated.
How about you, Bombastic? You know, like I say again, returning commander. So you've obviously had a chance to kind of learn from previous games. Is there anything you've learned from this one? And
Well, I've learned how to drive, which went a long way for me because I used to get a whole lot of shit stuck. Yeah, not yeah. What I take out is that I have to be more directive about the tanks and really tell them each time I spawn one where I want them, because I
Mhm.
kind of let it up to them, and maybe it wasn't such a good idea. And yeah, also maybe yell a little more when it's urgent to help people redeploy, and I'm a bit too chilled, I guess.
Yeah. Sometimes, I mean, it's interesting because I think there's two like main philosophies of commanding that I've seen on squad line battle. Some people are like, completely, micromanaging, I suppose, and saying, F squad go here, E squad go here, D squad go here, and all the rest of it. Telling exactly tanks what to do. They're yelling down the mic all the time, and then there are some players who they say, in the briefing at the start, they're like, "Look, guys, I'm not going to tell you what to do. You all know how to play the game. I want volunteers as like who's going to be my defensive squads, and then you got to stay on defense. Who's going to be the attackers and all this stuff, and just let the guys get on with it. All you do is kind of give them the things that they want when they want them. The bombing run when they say we're ready for a bombing run, and you go around and build garrisons, and then I suppose there's people somewhere in between. So it's all about finding that balance, really, isn't it? And I think probably looking at the game today, like it was an absolute a grind, and it was so close from both sides that I think probably both of you um, and the teams as well both probably played pretty well, right? Because otherwise, facing good opposition who know what they're doing, you'd get steamrolled. So it was a nice one from both of you today, and good from the teams as well. Is there anyone from the team that either of you would like to shout out in particular?
I'd like to shout out to my recon squads. I don't remember their names exactly, but I think they did a bang on job. They fell back when I needed them to build Gary. They went for the RT when needed. They dismantled a whole bunch of defensive Garys. So yeah, good job to them.
Nice. How about you, FSG?
Yeah, also to my recon man, he got kicked halfway through the game and could not join because the server was too full.
Oh no.
Oh, poor man.
Oh no. What a bummer. Well, shout out to him too. So, but yeah, big thank you to both of you guys, of course, for coming on as commanders and for being like good sports and coming on the chat afterwards and sharing your woes. I know sometimes it could be quite emotional being the commander in one of these games. So coming on to have an honest chat about it afterwards is it's big of you both kind of thing. So really appreciate that. And
For having us.
yeah, of course. I hope to see you both again. Obviously, like I said, both returning commanders. So I guess the final question is for each of you: are you going to come back as commander again on Squad Line Battle?
Every single time.
Hey, there it is. Is it on
I think a
again?
reason to.
FSG, Mr. Bombastic Part 2 next week.
Could be, could be.
Come on. You want it. I want it.
Let's kid
Fight,
ourselves.
fighting talk. I like it. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for coming on, and yeah, well played to everyone involved, and GG's to you guys. Look forward to seeing how you play next time out, if you do come back. And yeah, I'm going to kind of close up the stream now. But thanks for coming on very much.
Yeah, thank you, man. And GG.
Thank you. GG.
Cheers, guys. See you in a bit.
See you.
That's great. Love that. Nice to hear from both the commanders there. And like I say, well played to all the teams. Don't listen to me when I get all critical. Oh, what's the recon guy doing? Shows what I know. getting a shout out straight away from both the commanders there. So really nice from all the players. Really nice from the commanders there. And just in the spirit of sportsmanship, you know, and it's really nice to see on Squad Line Battle when people can kind of talk openly and honestly about the game, and you know, I've got people coming into the chat right now saying GGs at the end of the game. Everyone's always saying GGs in the squad chat and all that, you know, the game chat. So really nice to see. Thanks as always, like I said, as well to the organisers. Dragster, S1 today, massive thank you to you. Thank you to Don D and Core for providing the servers. Thanks to the guys on server 1 as well, and Heave and Hammer for casting on server 1 too. Thanks for all the people who followed today and you know, who've interacted in chat. We've had a couple of follows, probably have some more like when the VOD goes up, so thanks to you guys. Yeah, I guess I will see you next week, same time. Don't know what map next week. Let's have a little quick check before we leave. Map poll is 5th of the 4th. What have we got? It's looking like Carentan? Summer Eglise next week. So same time, slightly different place, just down the road in Summer Eglise. Very much look forward to it. And thanks again for joining me. Make sure you go check out the show from last night. Again, the shameless plug. Go check out the recapping over on No Connection stream. And yeah, take care, guys.